should be getting our first few steel beams. And we are. Huzzah! Hello everyone, I'm level 36 and welcome back to Foundry. So, it's been a minute since I've played this. I record quite a bit at once to try and make production easier. So it's been a little bit since I've actually logged into this world and taken a look at things here. Especially with reducing the posting frequency, and if you haven't been able to tell already, yes, Foundry is going to be a once every 2 weeks kind of video. I really did try and keep up with a twice a week posting schedule, the Monday, Friday, but it was just getting to be a little bit too much for what I could handle with my current workload. And, well, I wanted to prioritize making better content instead of just more content, so I figured the change was needed. But I have taken a minute to kind of run around the world, re-familiarize myself with what we were doing and where we're at in the game, and I am excited to continue onwards. So I believe in the last episode that was posted, you got to... maybe got is the wrong word. You watched as I built a gigantic road from our new xenoferrite ore deposit all the way back to our main base. So, main base here. There's less and less xenoferrite left. New base out there, or new mining outpost out there. This bridge connects the two. But we are not continuing with this today because there are more resources we require to make good use of what is out there. And those resources are specifically steel. So right now, we are processing this dirty ore into the respective xenoferrite plates and technum rods in the least possible efficient manner, which is actually wasting some of our precious resources. Now, our factory is kind of running slow right now because this is the only thing actively running, as everything else has reached saturation and is filled up. But as we progress onwards, we're going to be chewing through tons more resources as we use more stuff from our mall over here and do a lot more research. So, factory's had kind of a break to build a bit of a backlog of materials up, but it's time to start using them again. So the next thing that I actually really would like to research is our conveyor tube. This will give us basically double the speed of conveyor, because right now we can run 160 items per minute, and this is 320. So that'll give us a much faster conveyor process, and they're only a little bit more expensive, costing 2 conveyors, 2 machinery parts, 2 electrical components. All of those are things that our mall already produces, so we will quite literally only have to stick them, if I go out here, on the end. Like, if we just slap another assembler right here, that'll be our conveyor 2 production. I don't know that we're going to convert everything over to conveyor 2s right away, just because they are slightly more expensive, and we don't actually have unlimited resources, at least not yet. But one thing we can do to make our limited resources last a little bit longer and get them ready for steel production is crush our ores. So let's build ourselves a bit more area to work in over here. That should be fine. So I've done a little bit of math, and for every 2 furnaces, we'll fill that in real quick. For every 2 of our furnaces, we need 1 crusher. So for 2 of these, we need 1. We have a total of 16 furnaces, or not 16, 16 furnaces per layer. So it should be 8 per side. Yep. Now, we are not using these furnaces over here. So let's start off with just our xenoferrite. So for one of these, we're going to need 4 crushers, and for both, we'll need 8. So I went ahead and built some crushers. Let's actually... We'll move this. I'd like to keep the same footprint if possible. You can just go out there. And we need some more foundations. Luckily, we have plenty of those. So if we build another little platform over here, got our crushers. We need to put down 8 of these. So if we just go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can also just kind of line them up back to back here. Tear down these light posts real quick. So now with that, grab some conveyors. We can run an input and an output line, so we'll just run the output right here. And disconnect these. Have a... It's gonna be a little tight here, isn't it? There may have been a better way of doing this, but we're here now, so we'll deal with what we have. So if we do that, and then hopefully here in a second conveyor 2s will be done, so that we can use conveyor 2s to run this all together. Actually, I don't even know what I have to put down. Also, thank you to the comments for telling me that I can bulk disassemble stuff using Shift F, as I was last episode complaining about disassembly taking way too long. I just wasn't reading the sign literally directly in front of my face. You know what? We may actually take this opportunity while we're waiting for conveyor 2s to finish to move this a little bit further back so I have some more space. Foundations are cheap. Being cramped is a pain. There we go. There we go. That gives us a little bit more space to operate in here. So get rid of those. There we go. I just heard conveyor 2's finish, and while we're setting this up, we'll let the conveyor balancer 2 finish. So if we go into here, conveyor 2, I should be able to make a decent number of these. And let's see, empty toolbar. These should be about twice as fast as our original conveyor. So if we... might still make sense to actually move this pack even further. I'm still feeling a little cramped. Yeah. We're going to go back just a bit more. Just so I have enough space that I can clear the end without needing to replace anything. There we go. With these, we run a line of these down this way, and then a line back the other way. With these being twice as fast, we should be able to put the whole throughput of both of our furnace stacks onto these conveyors. Because we're making 2 red belts worth, so 1 yellow belt should be able to handle that. And luckily, unlike in Factorio, where assemblers have different speeds, these, or inserters, we don't have any fast inserters. These just run as fast as we can stuff stuff into them. We need some more of them. Do. We need to get rid of some of these random bits and bobs in my inventory, but we can handle that later. Luckily, because we have so many buffers built into the factory, we shouldn't actually lose any production time because we're taking the inputs offline for now. Set all of these to output. Fall off the platform. And now we are going to configure each of these to make xenoferrite ore. Now if we just plumb this in, off it goes. We get crushed, cleaned xenoferrite as the output. Also need to get this side over there. That should handle all of that throughput. And these things kind of look neat. All of them are running, correct? Yes. So while we are waiting, let's set up our other side. While still not strictly necessary for the amount of production that we are expecting right now, I'm just going to build for future-proofing and build 2 lanes of Technum, or for 2 stacks of Technum, even though we're only using 1 at the moment. I haven't seen it in the research tree, but I really hope there's a blueprinting system in this game. If not yet, one planned. I am excited for trains to come out, because I am looking forward to not having to make giant belt lines because giant belt lines, while functional, aren't the neatest solution in the world. Alright, and then if we just disconnect this. Oh, yeah, this can be just red for now. Go, and then let's just queue up another research while we're waiting. Tanks for some water storage. We eventually get to doing our high power stuff. So this needs, we need some more electronic components. We need to grab those. What are our existing conveyor balancers as well? Be able to map some electrical components from somewhere. Right over here. Oh, over here. We grab our tier 2 conveyor balancers. Ah. Pick one of these right here. Grab our conveyors. There we go. Now, let's actually make this look a little cleaner. Yeah, it's good enough for now. We have all of this running off of the much better recipe, the tier 2 recipe for xenoferrite plates. So these plates should help alleviate our production issues, mostly by reducing the consumption of our raw ores. So that's kind of part 1 here. Now it's not quite doubled. I think if my memory serves correct me, it's like 1.5 times the production. So for every... It was essentially a 2-to-1 recipe before, now it's a 1.5 to 1, or a 3 to 2 recipe now. So more efficient, which will make this little patch last ever so slightly longer. What won't make that little patch last ever so slightly longer is what we need to do next, which is make steel, which requires, you guessed it, more xenoferrite. So let's make a little, another extension onto our mining area over here. And I am thoroughly out of frames again, so more foundations. Let us grab some more. Queue up the next research. What makes sense to be next? We can't research Science Pack 3s yet because we need concrete and a couple other things. Let's do wall-mounted power poles. So we're going to need to do power soon as well. Do I have any miners? Nope. Let me grab a couple of you. 20, but that's fine. Give ourselves a little space to walk. And then let's also just expand our platform a bit. Fill out the space. Alright, so for steel beams, we need to make xenoferrite, ignium ore blend. So this is made in a crusher, and we need xenoferrite ore rubble and ignium ore rubble. So this is the raw ores. So we need 4 xenoferrite and 2 ignium. We have plenty of ignium over at our power facility. We run over here. This is our ignium mine. Even with just the 2 miners that we have right now, we've had plenty. But let's put down some new ones for a new production line. And we should still have plenty of the raw material left. We do need to clear a little bit of space. I was excited. I saw in the update logs that they're going to make mining a little bit easier as well. Which, while it's not a terribly tedious part of the game, I don't think would definitely be appreciated to not have it be so short range with just the drill, or the laser, which is admittedly much more kind of late game. Gotta connect this to our power grid. And then run a belt around. This, I mean, I probably should make this belt a tier 2 belt. Let's see, how much tier 2 belts can I make right now? Not that many. Machinery parts. Plenty of belts still, so it's just the machinery parts. Electric components next. And my inventory is full, so let's... We still have those containers kicking around. I guess I can just drop this stuff, so I really don't need these right this second. Yeah. There's this destroy item button. Clean up our inventory a little bit. There. Make significantly more of these now. And if we just run our belt. Luckily, this is a low enough level that if we ever do need to build on top of it, we will be able to. We can just run that right around to our kind of entry point into the factory. All the way here. Then we will need a couple of these. Let's just cancel those real quick. Up and up. All right. Now we have xenoferrite and there's still a bunch of these. Fine. Xenoferrite and ignum ore over here. We just put in the outputs. We need to feed this into some crushers to make the xenoferrite ignium ore blend. Now, steel plates, they take... So one steel beam takes 6 seconds in a small smelter. Ooh. This is going to be a bit of a limiting factor. Well, I guess let's just do with what we have. We can make 2 smelters worth in each crusher. And we need, let's see, some more xenoferrite plates. We didn't make smelters, did we? No. We did make crushers, though, didn't we? Yes. So that would support up to 20 smelters, which should be plenty. Honestly, that's way more than we need. So let's just start with less than that. So we can't make this process more efficient right now, and we don't want to chew up all of our resources making steel just yet. Alright. So if we take our crushers... Two, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just start with... Dang it. With 8 smelters worth. Leave ourselves some room to expand on Future. We are a little bit closer to making steel, and of course this is in our way, so let's just do this junk. One, two, 4. You always need more foundations. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's enough space. So now I need instead of 8, so 5, 6, 7, 8 smelters. Actually, we're going to make this a different alignment, so you're going to run out of space here. Six, 7. And 8. Here we go. Those in, set these to outputs. We should be getting our first few steel beams. And we are. Huzzah! Let's get an output line going, and these. So let's see. What do we need steel beams for? Let's take a look. So we are going to need them for tanks, logistics containers, lava smelters, essentially everything more advanced than what we're making right now. So I think because of that, let's actually take advantage of the fact that we have 3 dimensions, and we'll run it straight down the center. Well, not necessarily the center, but straight over where our current main bus is going through right now. And then we can kind of toggle it down in future whenever we need to build more stuff with these steel beams. So we're going to bring this over to here. Ooh, we can just replace. That is nice. I didn't realize that was just a built-in feature. And then straight down here. So that is our steel beams produced. Very nice. So we have now obtained steel. We are further depleting our xenoferrite ore patch at an alarming rate. Yeah, we are using this just about as quickly as we're producing it, so I think magically I managed to balance this almost properly. Somehow. It was not nearly enough math went into that to make that call that purposeful, but it seems like we could definitely maybe support 1 or 2 more furnaces off of this output. So maybe I did that math slightly wrong. But regardless, we now have steel, so let's see what we can make with steel. And the big thing that I'm excited to be able to make with steel is if I grab some of that, we can make freight elevators. I need also advanced machinery parts, which require steel as well. So we're going to need a lot of steel. But the freight elevator will make the process of moving the ore that I mine, because this can move 320 items per minute. This can move 320 items per minute. It's funny how that is coincidental. We will need 2 of these as well. I just remembered that. We can use this to move items from the top to the from the bottom to the top of our xenoferrite ore station way out there. So that is what we're going to use some of it for. Additionally, it's what we need to make some of our fancy new power utilities. So let's see what we're doing on time. We still have a little bit of time left in this episode, so let's set up a new section to our mall over here to build us some tier 2 belts. I should have plenty of assemblers. This is going to require conveyor, machinery parts, and electrical components. This should be everything we already have. That is 1 too many blocks forward. Sure, I want to check what does these require. That these require conveyor balancer. Oh, so each of these requires its predecessor. So we might have to do some fun belt routing to get those, because like, How do I want to do this? Brain. Let's just do the tier 1s. Actually, it might make sense to do this. Oh, no. We want to do the tier 1s first. So if we do that, this is required input, stick with the patterns we already have established. Input. Tier 2 belts, please. It's going to be a bit expensive, but that's okay. This is going to be our output. We are going to route this to another chest. We don't have any of, but there's plenty over here. We need 1 for the belts, 1 for the slopes, 1 for the balancers. Alright. Like that. 1 of these going down. 1 of these going in. Now that is our tier 2 belts being produced. Let's see if we can figure out how to do our tier 2 slopes. So for the tier 2 slopes, we are going to need a tier 1 slope, and a tier 1 slope needs a tier 1 conveyor. So if we need to carry the conveyors through for the conveyor balancer 2s, though, as well, because we need conveyor balancer 1s. Unless we get really creative over here. This is our conveyor balancer 1 output. Hood. Let's actually make this a little simpler. And by simpler, I mean probably more complex in the long run, but I'm kind of invested in doing it this way now. So if we do that, come out, out. Let's grab 2 new assembly machines. So 1, 2, and foundation it up. These are going to need intake, intake, output, output. Then intake, intake. We go down and then nope. Up. Oops. In. This down to the end. And this one down, up, out, an extra tile. Hopefully that isn't going to cross feed. Or let's just hope that line's saturated enough that we don't have to worry about it cross-feeding. But then, if my thinking is correct, we should just be able to run this line out like that. We don't even need that line. This one is which the slopes. You will be slope type 2, and you will be balancer type 2s. And I think my thinking was correct. That is all working properly. So let's grab our output lines. Go. This one's going to be a little bit more, well, I guess it won't actually be more difficult, so we'll just have to go out. Then a little bit sooner, go down, turn in. So now we have automated our tier 2 conveyor components. Very nice. And in doing so, let's see. We've also obtained steel, which will enable us to expand production even further. Very nice. I am quite happy with this. I think that'll wrap up this episode. I think next episode we will take a look at our better power system. Because I want to see what the steam power looks like, and then maybe in our research tree we'll what do we need for science pack 3s? We need concrete production. So yeah, let's start scanning for mineral rock and see what we need to do to make some concrete and better power. Better power might take the whole episode though. We'll see. I don't know. I've never done this before. I'm learning with all of you. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you've had a wonderful day, and I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, drop a like, subscribe, all that standard stuff. Hit the bell to get notifications of my next videos. And I'll see you in this series in 2 weeks. If you are interested in my other content, Stationeers. It's an awesome game, and I post that every Monday. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.